Hello, Barendipitous here with another video for the board game shelf, and here we have Fakin' It. This is a game that we got over Christmas, and as soon as I saw it, I recognized it. It's a Jackbox game. If you don't know, Jackbox games makes a lot of games that you can play remotely or like a bunch of people in the same room. You can use your phones or basically any device that has access to a browser to submit your answers on something. So a lot of streamers on Twitch or YouTube have played Jackbox games with their viewers and things like that. Only one person needs to own the game, and then anyone else, as long as they have the code for the lobby or the game room, they can play along with them. So I've played Fakin' It a couple times, but I've noticed like it's been a long time since I played Fakin' It, like the original digital version, and I always felt like Fakin' It was more of a game that seemed to lend itself more to like people in a physical place, right? You'll see what I mean. But basically, just kind of like, this is a fun game, this is cool, but I mean, it kind of makes more sense to play this game with people in the same room. A lot of people played Jackbox games, especially during the pandemic, and Fakin' It really wasn't a game that was very conducive to that kind of thing. Again, you'll see what I mean. But I think that's probably why they made this into a physical game. I'm curious to see what other physical games they've made, because like one of my favorite games of theirs is Trivia Murder Party, which probably wouldn't work as a physical game. But anyway, the concept of this game is honestly pretty straightforward. Essentially, it's sort of like a quick, silly social deduction game, but it's not as like serious as like Among Us or Werewolf or Mafia or things like that. Basically, there are different categories. These tokens are voting chips, essentially, where you try to like guess who the faker is, essentially. But yeah, there's 5 different categories. There is Hands of Truth, where players must either raise their hand or keep their hand down in response to some kind of question. Number pressure. Everyone needs to show a certain number of fingers between 1 and 10 in answer to a question. You got a point. Point at another player, even yourself, to answer a question. Face value. Make a facial expression in response to a prompt. Or text you up, which is each player must answer the question on their card out loud truthfully. In each of these cases, the faker is... So basically, in each of these cases, all but one, every single player but one is going to get the same question. The faker is going to get basically nothing or a similar question. I think text you up is the only different one, where for these other ones, the faker doesn't get anything. It just says you are the faker. And then this one, for text you up, the faker is going to is basically going to get a similar but different question. I think a good example, well, you'll see. But anyway, that's what these cards are for. These cards show the different categories. These are apparently hard to grab. There we go. All right. So yeah, face value. Make the face you'd make if you were a lazy dog, or make the face you typically have on Monday mornings. That sort of thing. Let's see. For red cards, we have, Hands of Truth. Raise your hand if you know off the top of your head how to convert grams to ounces, right? Or this, you got a point. Oops, sorry. Point at the person you think is most capable of murder. And let's see, the last category is probably under those red cards over there. These cards fit in a bit tightly, although, okay, here we go. If I can grab things out. I'll explain these boards in a moment here. Yeah, and then of course I'll also explain the text category, because that is quite different. All right, here we have, number pressure. So hold up 5 fingers if your name starts with a J, 7 if it doesn't. Or hold up as many fingers as countries named Japan there are. Or hold up as many fingers as players in this game. Things like that, basically. So for each of those categories, as you saw on the card, the top part of it has the question, the bottom says you are the faker, try to blend in. For text you up, however, a chain restaurant you enjoy, or someplace you like to take a date to. Your favorite vegetable or your favorite fruit. Name a celebrity or name a public figure you don't like very much. So these are questions that are like related, but one of them is going to the faker, and the other one is going to everybody else. So text you up is actually pretty neat and fun. So these hard like cardboard, I guess, hardboard cards. They all look the same, but there's a key difference about one of them. All right. So if we take this text you up one, they all have a slot at the top that allows you to put the card in, and you can see what the prompt is. However, for one of these is the faker card, because if you put the card in this one, you get the bottom one. All right. Most other categories will say you are the faker, try to blend in. For text you up, it'll give you the other question. Yeah, you can kind of tell like which one has like an indent on which side. All these, except for the faker one, has a window on the top, but the faker one has a window on the bottom. They all look identical on the other side, which, is kind of the point. The arrow points to where the card should be slotted in. So yeah, you match the arrows, you slide it in, you look at it, and then you pass this card face down to everybody else. That's basically how that works. And then after everyone is done, you take the card and you put it in this reveal it envelope, and then everyone does the activity, pointing or answering a question or making a facial expression, whatever. Then finally, then after that, everyone's given their answer, you reveal this, you reveal the task, and everyone debates on who they think the faker is, right? So that's basically the whole game. I think you can probably see why this lends itself better to like in-person environments, because especially like facial expression or trying to see like who's, or like pointing to people, that's a bit harder to do if if you're trying to play this over Discord or Zoom or Skype or something. So I'm very glad that they made a physical version of this game, and I think it's really cool. We played this with my in-laws over Christmas, and we had a lot of fun with it. So I am very glad to have a physical Jackbox game, which I never thought I'd see. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and until next time, all the best.